All right, welcome back. Taking a second go at number 10, marking period 4, multiplying radicals using the distributive property. Last time did 11 and 12. Now I want to do some of the harder ones, kind of show you how that goes. All right, start with 18 here. 18, we have, let's see, the square root of 6 times n times the expression 7 times n to the third plus square root of 12, all right, or radical 12. Okay, see if I can do this. I'll do one piece at a time. All right, so radical 6n. All right, radical 6n. All right, where's my 18? There it is, 18. I'm going to insert special character. I want to insert the square root symbol. There we are. There it is. I click on it, and then it should pop right into my document. There it is. I'm now going to select that square root symbol. I'm going to Control C on it. Select, Control C. Now, every time I do Control V, I can paste that symbol. I already forgot what 18 was. Let me go back and look. Oh, wait, 6 times n. 6 times n. 6 times n times the expression. The expression, where is it? 7 times n to the third. 7 times n to the third. 7 times n raised to the third. Now, notice this little symbol here. It's called the caret. This little up arrow, it's called the caret. You get this symbol by Shift 6 on your keyboard. And what this says, it says take n and raise it. That little caret says raise it to the third power. That's how we often do this when we're doing mathematics in one line on a keyboard. All right, and then next piece is times radical. No, plus, right? Plus radical 12. Make sure I got that right. Look at it again. Yep, I think I've got it. Okay. All right, so first step is to distribute this radical 6n across the rest of my parentheses. So my first step here is I'm going to do radical 6n times the first piece, which is 7n raised to the third, and then I'm going to do radical 6n times 12, and I'm going to add these two things together. Oh, this is gets kind of simple. It's not. This is just 7 times n to the third, right? Times put a space there. Times the little time symbol is the asterisk. I get to that by Shift 8 on my keyboard, and then radical 6n. There's not much I can do there, right? Yeah, that's kind of where that stands, and then radical 6n times 12 times 12. There's not much to do there either. I'm just going to put the 12 out in front because that's usually how we like to see it. And then you notice how I put the 7 times n to the third out in front of the radical. That becomes like a coefficient with an implied multiplication. There's an implied multiplication going on here. So I just combine my things. 7n raised to the third times the square root of 6n plus, I got that plus from this plus in my parentheses, plus 12 times radical 6n. Trying to think if I can do anything else here. I think we're done there. Trying to think if there's any way I can combine these. I don't see anything I can simplify. I think that's it. That wasn't that hard. I feel like I'm missing something. Maybe I need to think about it some more. I'm going to move on to the next one. 19. Okay, I've got radical 3v times the expression radical 6 plus radical 10. It doesn't even look that hard. Oh well, I guess I'll talk about it since I already forgot what it was. Radical 3v times the expression, what was it? Radical 6 plus radical 10. Radical 6 plus radical 10. All right. I'm now going to distribute this radical 3v across the parentheses. So I'm going to do 3v times radical 6, and I'm going to do radical 3v times radical 10, and I'm going to see what these, and then I'm going to add those two things together. So first step is radical 3v times radical 6. Well, I can multiply anything that's inside radicals together. So this becomes 3v. What's 3v times 6? What's 3v times 6? 3v times 6. This is for you. You answered this one. All right, good. Hopefully you're saying 3 times 6 is 18. 3v times 6 is going to be 18v. And I need a radical sign out in front of it, right? Because it's all under a radical. What about this one? Go ahead and try this one. 3v times radical 10. Pause the video if you need more time. 3 times 10 is 30, so this is going to be radical 30v. All right, and now I can put those expressions here, 18v plus radical 30v. And I feel like there should be more. I feel like these are usually trickier, but I don't see. Well, technically, I could do some simplification here, right? Let me talk about that. What is radical 18v composed of? Well, I could think of it as composed of radical 9 times radical 2 times radical v. Think of it that way. And if I thought of it that way, I'd say, hey, I know what the square root of 9 is. That's 3. All right, and then I can just combine that with what I had before now. So now I have radical 18v is really just 3 radical 2. So I can go in here, and I can say, oh, 3 radical 2 plus radical 30v. And let me think if there's any tricky things going on here. I'm looking for perfect square. I'm thinking about perfect squares that might go into 30. And there's not too many for me to try. I don't think there's anything really. But let me try to show you the process by which I'm thinking about this. I start thinking, okay, what's my first perfect square? That's 2 times 2, that's 4. Right? That doesn't go in evenly. Okay, let me try my next perfect square. 3 times 3 is 9. So I'm taking 30 and dividing by 9. That doesn't go in evenly. I'll take 30, and then what's my next perfect square? It's 5 times 5, that's 25. That's not going to work. So really, there's no perfect squares in here, so I'm just done. I'm done. There's no simplification I can do with 30v. I'm done. 20. Did the instructions say simplify? I don't remember if I didn't grab that. It says just multiply. Doesn't say you have to simplify. Maybe he might want you to do that anyway. Anyway, let me see about 20. Usually the last couple are the hardest. Let's see. The square root of 21r times the expression 5 plus the square root of 7. Let me try this. My problem is I always forget these before I even get to them. Square root of 20, was it 21r? 21r? Yes. Times the expression 5 times the square root of 7. 5 plus the square root of 7. Did I get that right? Plus in there? Yes, there was a plus. Good. Okay. So what am I going to do? I'm going to distribute across the parentheses, which means square root of 21 times 5. I'm going to find out what that equals. I'm going to do the square root of 21r. Oh, can't forget that r. That's part of it. Times the square root of 7. Someone at the door? No, at the door. Okay. Let me just go check to see if there's someone at the door. Nope, nobody needs anything. All right, sorry about that. I gotta get going shortly. Let's see. Well, this one here is just 5 times 21r. I just put that 5 becomes a coefficient in front of my radical. And then this one here, 21 times 7. Oh, I could probably do that in my head if I wanted to, but I don't want to. I want to save my brain, my thinking for bigger things. 21 times 7, 14 times 140. It's okay. So anyway, or 7 plus 140, 147. Okay, so it's going to be the square root of 147 times r. Geez, I would start thinking about, are there any square roots in 147, right? 147, can I divide that by, say, 49, for instance? I can. Ooh, so this is really the same thing as the square root of 49 times the square, what was my remainder there? Times the square root of 3 times the square root of r, right? And hopefully you know that 49 is a perfect square, right? The square root of 49 is a perfect square. 7 times 7 is 49. This is really 7 times the square root of 3 times r. I do have to get going now. Let me see if there's any perfect squares in 21. Let's see, does 4 work? No. Does 9 work? No. Does 16 work? No. So I think I'm done with 21. There's no simplifying there. Let's just put this together. 5 times the square root of 21r plus, what do I find as a final answer here? 7 times the square root of 3r. I think I'm done. I don't think there's anything more I can play with there. And that's number 20, okay? Hopefully these are helpful and you're getting something out of this. All right, I'm going to stop sharing.